So, if you lack self-love, you're going to see yourself seeking, craving people's validation. You're going to see yourself doing things for people that you can't even do for yourself. And that is always a recipe for disaster. So in this video, I'll be talking about how I was able to overcome my issues and begin to embrace the idea of self-love. Right? So it's going to be a very short video. Right? And recently, why this idea came into my head is recently I had a 2-hour argument with a student. Now, the argument was about different things about philosophy, self-improvement, masculine ideas, but it's what started the argument that's very important. He came to me and he showed me a quote. I'll paraphrase. He says that, the quote says, you become a man when you don't build muscles because of women. When you don't earn money because of women. That you do these things for yourself. And he asked me what's my opinion. I said, well, that makes sense. And I strongly believe it. Then the argument just went into different things, and I kind of realized that a lot of guys are at the gym because of women. A lot of guys who are making money, they are making money because of women. And if you look at these things carefully, ask yourself why. They lack self-love. They lack self-love. And all this things came to me when I remember reading 12 Rules to Life by Jordan Peterson. And this rule 2 says, treat yourself like you are somebody responsible for taking care of. That statement still today sticks in my head, right? How you should take care of yourself. You're somebody responsible. You see, people would do a lot of things for other people they would barely do for themselves. And I'm like, that's true. I'm not going to lie to you. I have had my own fair share of it. But the question now is, how much do you love yourself? Or why don't people really love themselves? If your things were one upbringing, when you grow up with parents that are consistently negative, consistently talking you down, guess what? You're going to lack self-love. Now, it may not be from your parents. It may just be because you were born as a middle child. I'm saying that because I was a middle child. And recently I came about the concept called middle child syndrome, where middle kids don't really get that much attention. So they have to do a lot. I remember when I was much younger, I was trying to do a lot for attention. A lot. Even to the point where, and this is what I'm grateful for, I did a lot to get attention, but something else, in that process of trying to get the attention and doing a lot of things, it made me very useful. But I remember when I used to crack jokes just to get people's attention, to get people to see me, to even notice me. But why I'm grateful for that, this is a slight distract, but why I'm very grateful for that is that's where all of my usefulness became. That's where my dad began to use me for certain things. That means is I will always come to meet him for his attention, but he will use me for certain tasks. Those using me for certain tasks made me actually more skillful, made me learn the hard work etiquette, or all of that, but I digressed, now I'm back. So why else do we lack self-love? Again, when we were young, we were always doing things for other people and because of other people. Basically, oh, why are you in school? Because they want me to go to school. Do this for mama, do this for him. Hold on, so, but how many things were we doing for ourselves while we were young? Another reason people lack self, or why you could lack self-love is trauma. If you have some traumatic events while you're young, it could basically destabilize your entire raising, basically, and you begin to lack that self-love, begin to lack the self-respect for yourself. But what's the first step towards giving yourself proper self-love? The first step to improving yourself or finding your problems is one, becoming aware of how much you love yourself or how much you don't love yourself. Very important. It's very, very important you take yourself very, very serious, but become aware of it. Because a lot of people, sometimes your ego will get in the way of you not knowing why you don't love yourself. Yeah, most of the time it's the ego that gets in the way. Now, when you come aware of it, your next step is to start to treat yourself like you're a friend to yourself. You see that Jordan Peterson concept of treat yourself like somebody you're responsible for taking care of. What that means is don't get too familiar with yourself. Be able to have a conversation with yourself. But again, all your conversations should be positive. It should be very, very positive. The reason why whenever people say Dilulu is a Solulu, there's a lot of nuances there, but in a case like this, positive self-talk will do you way more good than negative self-talk. Because most people have negative self-talk automatic negative thoughts. And those thoughts are very fast. You barely see them, so you have to become aware of them. So when you start talking to yourself like you're a friend, and this is very important, and the next step, when talking to yourself as a friend, be able to give yourself proper feedback and proper guidance. So treat yourself like you're even a coach to yourself. And that's the best self-improvement advice I've ever practiced in my entire life. Be able to sit down and ask myself, what happened there? What could I have done better? Now, where this thing started was with Andrew Tate. Now, hear me. When I was done with college, when I was done with university, I remember that I really barely talked to women in my university days because I was locking in, focused, introvert, quiet, afraid, shy, whatever you want to call it. I'm still processing what happened then. So I was done with university. And then I was like, you know what? Let me start talking to girls since now I have that much time. So Andrew Tate spoke about how if you get into a girl's DM, she may not give you a response. And now you should not blame yourself because there are 1,000 reasons she will not give you a response. At the same time, make sure your Instagram page is already popping before you even slide into her DM because she'll check your account. She'll judge you based on your profile. So that thing stuck to me that if I get rejected by a woman, what that means is it's not like I have a problem. Sometimes it could just be her, right? Now that gave me a frame of mind to always never look down on myself of, oh, I'm not worthy enough. That's why she told me no. I'm not attractive enough. Although that could be an excuse though. But the whole point is that frame of mind actually, and it works for me in other areas of life where whenever I failed at something, instead of talking down myself, oh, I'm not enough, I don't pass things, it became easier for me to embrace, okay, fine, what's the way forward? What could have gone wrong? What should I change? Again, that is you being a coach to yourself. This is not a way of you always blaming other people because if you cannot figure out what the problem is, you become the problem yourself. So the third step now is start doing things for you. And for start doing things for you because, and let's be frank, right? To start the start of almost anybody's self-improvement space is mostly because of other people. Now, that's a very powerful motivation. Doing this because you want to prove a point is a very good motivation. Because at the start of your journey, nobody wakes up and starts saying, oh, I want to improve because it's for me. No. Most people start to improve because something bad happened to them. They want to prove a point. A girl breaks your heart. You want to get rich. She leaves you for a more jacked dude. You go to the gym. A lot of guys get into the gym because of heartbreak. But my question now is, how much muscles do you need to overcome the heartbreak? This is where I see a lot of guys who get into the gym. They will lift muscles. They will keep building muscles for 12 years. Larger muscles. I'm like, you do realize that the larger muscles don't mean larger, more girls, right? Hope you know that. At some point, the kind of muscles you build, you stop attracting women and you start attracting men. Very important. So again, start doing things for you. Yes, I'll tell you, everybody starts because of somebody else. But when you begin to embrace the idea of self-love, you start doing things much more intentionally. What that means is you don't have to wait for a heartbreak to go to the gym. You don't have to wait for a heartbreak to learn how to fight. You don't have to wait for somebody to beat you on the streets for you to go and learn how to fight because that's me here. Ever since I adopted this philosophy, I've been doing new things every year for me. So start doing things for you, right? Again, statement of you become a man when you no longer go to the gym because of women. You don't make money because of women is a very powerful thing and a thing that I will stand by every single day to the rest of my life. One other thing that would help you is stoicism, right? The philosophy of stoicism. Now, the things that you see online about stoicism are not really what it is. They are the shallow level. But if you want to understand stoicism, start reading books on stoicism because there are very few content creators that will give you the depth of stoicism. So when you have the stoicism in you, it becomes easier for you to navigate life, doing things for yourself, properly loving yourself, not seeking the validation of other people. So I guess that's it. Become aware of it. Start talking to yourself like you're somebody you love, you respect, and you're giving yourself, you're your best friend, your best critic. And 3, start doing things for you. So change your mindset. Start doing things for you to the point where people come into your life, people will live your life, but you're not bothered. Not because of you're acting unbothered, but because you are genuinely not bothered. You enjoy your own company. You do things for you. You know that so far you have yourself, you're not lacking anything, right? So provided you know that you have yourself, you are not lacking anything. My name is Mr. Noré. I'm still making this, I'm still on my 90-day streak to create videos, content to help you become a well-rounded man. Content that should be behind the paid wall. If you basically like what you're hearing, I want you to please share this video with somebody who you find it helpful. It's actions like that that get the channel to grow and make me realize that I can help younger men, a lot of young men out there. Thank you very much. A lot of young men who are trying to figure out life. Thank you very much. Talk to you soon. And bye for now.